She says, Mr. Angel, what? She says, probably, look, I'm a woman. I can't even say my husband's first name because he's 25-ish. I'm 13. People can't even speak to me in the streets because if they see me pregnant, they'll judge me as being a harlot. Mr. Angel, I don't have a degree. I haven't even finished middle school yet. I don't have any money. My mama and daddy have kicked me out. I am the property of my husband. You'll catch it in a second. Mr. Angel, look, the last time I checked, I was not even allowed in the temple because I started this thing called a cycle, and I started a cycle when I wasn't married because I got this baby inside of me, and you're telling me, Mr. Angel, with all of that mess going on in my life, I'm favored? Which means that Mary failed to realize that if favor was connected to your ability to have it all together, then favor would never work. And we've convinced ourselves that favor only works when you have it all together. So you look at me and you say, Pastor must have favor because he encounters God. No, my favor is not because I encounter God, but my favor is the fact that God encounters me when I can't even make up in my mind to encounter him. And that's where you ought to shout, because favor is not about you having it all together, but favor is when God sees you and you don't have it together and he still looks out for you. See, watch this. Watch this. In other words, favor is able to see something in you, watch this, that you've chosen to not see in yourself. Catch the difference. It's not that you can't see it, it's that you chose not to see it. In other words, the reason Mary couldn't see that she was favored is because she lived with 86 other people who were content being mediocre. You bitch just shout right there. She lived with people who were content being in Nazareth. They were content being in Galilee. They were content being religious. They were content not meeting God. And Mary had to wake up and say, how can I be favored when I'm living by mediocre people? All right, you still missed it, baby. Watch this. In other words, Mary realized the reason I may or may not be favored is because if I'm favored, Deke, it's going to cause me to have to leave the people who trained me how to be mediocre. If I accept that I'm big and they taught me to be small, then my bigness is going to trump their smallness, and I don't want to leave, catch it, my mama, my daddy, my cousin, my brother, my sister. But the angel shows up and says, boo, it ain't about your mama, it ain't about your daddy, it ain't about your cousin, but God picked you. And how long do you live your life defining your favor by the fact that your mama's not favored? See, in other words, watch this. The angel could have showed up, Miss Gwen, and said, Mary, you're favored, but stay here. The angel could have said, God picked you, but you're going to give birth in Nazareth. But the angel says you're favored, and as soon as Joseph discovers that she's favored, the text says they have to leave the city, which means that her favor does not come with the word of confirmation, but her favor comes with the word of contradiction. I'll argue my point. In other words, if favor was about confirmation, then God would let you be favored and stay in the space that he called you, because he will confirm the misery and mediocrity of the people who raised you to be mediocre. But when God gives you favor, he doesn't confirm your misery, he contradicts your reality, which means that favor does not confirm where you are, but favor contradicts where you are to make you want to go into spaces that are bigger than what you've been used to. All right, favor does not say, I'm a doctor because my mama told me I should be. But favor says that God called me to preach, And regardless of what mama wants, I cannot confirm mama's dream for me. I got to contradict mama's dream to live out God's dream, which means that sometimes your dream is going to require you to contradict people who put a dream inside of you that was really about a dream that they couldn't fulfill. I'm almost done. Watch this. The angel says, Mary, look, you're favored. But catch this. The reason you're favored, Harvey, is because you have a baby. But the baby ain't your husband's. Your favor is connected to the fact that you're pregnant, but it ain't Joseph's child. All right, try it again. You have favor because you are possessing something that did not come as the result of somebody else. Your favor is in you, and it didn't even require Joseph to help you. In other words, your favor was something so big that Joseph didn't even have to play a role for it. It's in you because I put it in you. Regardless of whether or not Joseph put it in you, you'll catch that when you get home or not. And that means that every now and then, the reason God favors you is because favor is when God gives you something, watch this, that humans can't give you. And the problem with most of us is that we think favor is connected to people liking us. No, favor is when nobody else can do it for you. It only can come from God. See, watch this, but watch this. This is what gets me. See this, watch this. What gets me, she's pregnant, ain't Joseph's. Which means 86 people who are country, conservative, and traditional are going to kick her out of church. Which means, you ready, D? This shouted at me last night. It means she has favor, but she doesn't have popularity. Because her favor is so big that her favor causes her to not be popular. Because her favor is going to go against the religious leadership who think she should be married and then have Jesus. Which means that in order to be favored, sometimes your favor requires people to reject you. Because if favor was about people liking you, there's some stuff you wouldn't give birth to because you didn't do it in the order that they wanted you to do it. But favor is when you say, I do it when I want, I do it how I want, I'll give it how I need to give it. Because favor ain't about you. Favor is about who gave it to me. See, watch this. See, in other words, we assume, brother, that favor is about people liking us, and that when you have favor, your relationships should grow. But catch it, the Bible says that when she finds out that she has favor, Joseph puts her away, which means that favor does not come with community. Favor comes with isolation. When you find out that you're favor, God don't need you to tell everybody. He needs to put you away because he knows if you tell the wrong person, they might try to make you abort the favor that's living inside of you. I'm almost done. Watch this. Watch. My mama once told me that when she was getting ready to have me, I'm the only child. She said she gave physicians one instruction. She said, when I have my son, only thing I need you to do, I need you to keep the room empty. And they said, what do you mean? She said, not my mama, not my husband, not my sisters, not my brothers, not my cousins. Keep the room empty. And I asked my mother, I said, why would you not allow my daddy to be in the birthing room when I was getting ready to be born? She said, well, what you don't know, baby, is that your daddy has a fear of blood. Your daddy doesn't like screaming. Your daddy doesn't like medical issues. And so your daddy couldn't handle the process of what it means to give birth to you. And if your daddy would have been in the room, he would have been asking me how I was doing versus telling me to push my birth out. And that's the problem with some of us. We allow people in our birthing room who are afraid of our process, and they spend their time asking us, how you doing? And is everything okay? Everything's fine. I'm just giving birth to something inside of me, and it comes with bleeding. It comes with scars. It comes with tissue. It comes with hollering.